Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 300. Number 300 of the Immigration Answers Show. Who would believe it? It is an auspicious day, and of all things, it's also the birthday of our very own beautiful Ms. Hooli. Hi, Hooli. Happy birthday.
Hi, Jim. Awesome. I'm right now in the beach, like 5 hours away from home.
So, nice.
Yeah, I'm having a blast today.
How long will you be there?
Only for the weekend, just to have fun for my birthday. So.
Oh, good. I hope you have a great time. Do you have a lot of plans?
Actually, we're gonna have dinner in a very, very fancy restaurant here, and hopefully, we're gonna go disco dancing tonight. So, let's see.
Nice. Well, congratulations. Happy birthday. Thanks for everything you do for us at the firm and at the show. Everybody, everybody on the Slack channel today, we're sending Hooli all kinds of great birthday notes. She's a great cheerleader for the firm, a great team member. Everyone loves having her. So happy birthday, Hooli.
No, and I'm happy for you, Jim, and for everyone. They let me know that yesterday we reached 302 viewers. So hopefully today we're going to reach more than 300. So hopefully everyone shares the link of the show, and let's make this 2-hour special show a great one.
Skyla said we hit 300. I didn't personally see it myself, so I'm not going to believe it.
I have the screenshot. I'll send it to you.
Okay, great. All right, thanks, Hooli. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
All right, now, given the fact that this is the 300th episode of our show, we had to make it really extra special. Not only are we going to go for the full 2 hours, but we also had to bring back one of the OGs, one of my favorite people, one of our biggest fans, one of our best team members. You know him, you love him. He's going to co-host once again our very own Daniel Axelbaum. Daniel.
Hi, Jim.
Oh, Daniel, your mic is really loud.
Really loud.
Yeah. But very glad to have you. Daniel is actually in the office next door to me. So we're really glad that Daniel's here and back. We miss having him on the show every time. Daniel, are you going to fulfill your old role and bring people on like we did in the old days?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to adjust that volume, Jim, for you. Let me see.
Okay, sure. So Daniel has been with us for 3 years and change. He's a great mentor to the rest of the Leads team. He definitely fights for immigrants every day. He exhibits all 6 of our core values all the time, and we're super happy to have Daniel with us. If you're wanting to come on to talk to Daniel or I, the waiting room is open. This is going to be your best shot to get in the waiting room because I'm sure that it's going to fill up as the day goes on. So, Daniel, how have you been?
I've been amazing. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Congratulations on 300 episodes, and Happy New Year to everyone. I just think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, for sure. And we're really excited about the year to come. We're going to be trying to grow and do some different things and make things better for immigrants around the country and for our clients. And of course, you're a big part of that. So how are things in the Leads department?
Well, everything's great. The main concern of mine today is if you hit 300 viewers, I'm a little jealous of that because I think we got barely above 200 when I was co-hosting. So we'll have to see what we get to today.
Yeah, and so I have a little surprise a little later for everybody that will pull maybe around the 4 o'clock mark. Just something funny that occurred to me and that I thought I would share. Should we go ahead and start taking some calls?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jim, also, I don't want you to worry about filling 2 hours. I got a lot of statistics. I've been running some numbers of your show. So we're gonna go
great.
through some fun facts later as we go through the show.
I think Daniel, people want you to turn your volume up a little bit more.
Okay, you got it. Let's see here.
I'm gonna start doing endorsements for Quick Trip. They're my favorite. I love getting my soda at Quick Trip. I know I'm not supposed to be drinking soda, but it's my one last ice. So
all right, Jim. Well, we'll see how this audio is. I'm in the office next to Jim, so we're kind of
that sounds perfect
a little bit.
You sound great now.
All right, sir. Well, Mr. Elaine, welcome to the show. First guest of number 300. Welcome.
Here. Hey, nice to meet you guys. Hey, huge
Hey,
fan, Jim.
Elaine. Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, likewise. I just wanted to take the opportunity to say congratulations on 300 episodes, and also huge fan of your TikToks. They're hilarious and very informative. So thanks for
Awesome.
everything that you
Thanks.
guys do for the community. Really appreciate that. I have a couple questions, and I was referred by one of your teammates, Jim, and everything is pointing in the way of like doing a writ of mandamus, and just kind of give you a little background of who I am. I've lived in the States since I was 5 months old. I grew up here. I'm a Dreamer DACA recipient, and I've been happily married to my wife since 2019, and we've gone through the process. I've submitted my I-485 in April of last year, and I've had the opportunity to grow in my workplace and actually expand my scope and stuff that aligns a little bit more with my career field and my background. However, I don't have status, and I can't work on a lot of these government contract, DoD contract work. I do simulation project engineering, and so I've had my employer write a letter on my behalf to expedite my I-485 adjustment of status, and I got rejected in November when I had initially done so myself, and then I reached out. So I reached out to my congressman then. I most recently reached out to my senator, and I'm here in Alabama. I haven't heard a response back, and I think the next step is, I believe, a writ of mandamus, and I'm just asking, is this appropriate based on what I've told you so far?
Well, so let's back up. So when you came 5 months, did you enter without inspection, or did you have a visa and overstay?
So I entered here unlawfully as a kid. So I have had my I-601 provisional unlawful presence waiver approved, and that was in 2021.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I've never left the United States up until last year when I had my I-131 advanced parole. I had the opportunity to go see my godmother. She was ill, and I was lawfully paroled back into the States.
That was my next question. And your spouse is a U.S. citizen?
She is a U.S. citizen. She works for the Department of Justice. She works in law enforcement.
And even that doesn't help you out with
So
some love.
the first time we reached out in November was actually because of her employer. She was renewing her security clearance, and that I figured that would fall under the category of U.S. interest for expedite. It just helps, because I'm a person without status. It helps her job, whatnot. Yeah. They rejected that. So, and I reached out to my congressperson at that point. So finally, my employer was like, hey, we're trying to, capture some of these projects, but we need you to be, of status. So they wrote this letter on my behalf, and they were able to quantify how much we're actually losing based off of me not being a citizen or a resident. So they were able to quantify that and have it in a written letter, and we just sent that out, and I just have yet to hear back.
The I-130 was filed separately from the 45?
Correct. The I-130 was sent out in 2020. Or excuse me, the I-130 was probably sent out in 2019, and it was approved in 2020. Excuse the mess. That's all of the stuff that I'm working on right now.
No, that's okay. So the I-130 got approved in 2020, and then when did you go on your advanced parole trip?
I went on my advanced parole trip March of 2022, so last year.
And when did you file for adjustment?
I filed adjustment shortly after I returned back to the States. So in late April, early May is when they received it.
So I think it's too early for a lawsuit.
Okay. Because
they've only had the 45 since March. I mean, if you're really desperate and really want to take a shot, we could do it. Where, if you have a green card interview, where would it be?
Well, I'm here out of Huntsville, as you could tell by my rockets here. Huge fan of aerospace, and Rocket City is the best place to be here at.
Oh, you
but
said Alabama,
it
yeah.
would be probably Montgomery office, and they are 29 months out. Something
Yeah,
like
I think that might be one they might fight us on just because it hasn't been long enough. I think you have to wait at least until April.
okay. So that was like the biggest question of
Okay.
the again, it's just work is wanting me to go in this direction, and I want to be able to be able to fulfill those requirements and also help out in that capacity that
So
my education.
yeah, so the thing is, if you sue them, the worst that happens is you lose the money that you filed, that you paid us, and that you filed. That they're not gonna. The only thing is they would file a motion to dismiss and just ask the judge to let them process it on their own timeline. So if money's not the most important thing, if trying to see, I mean, I would say on something like this, you do have a long immigration history. The I-130 was approved in 2020, so that was 3 years ago. So I think there's an argument that it might be late, or that they might sort of just go ahead and decide it. So, you know, and if the marriage is clean and everything, and you're obviously doing important work, I think that it's worth a shot. I just can't guarantee that it's going to work. I mean, I never can guarantee that it's going to work, but I particularly can't guarantee it in this one.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much. I suppose the best thing is wait until April then.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks, Elaine.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And
bye, buddy.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, Jim.
Was my internet shorting out, Daniel, or it seemed like I was?
I think so. Yeah. Julio was asking if we're still live. I think we're good. But
Yeah,
it was jumping a bit.
It looks like everyone else is frozen, or a lot of people are frozen. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out the people that are frozen, and you go ahead. There's a couple of people that I can see moving, which means they're live people. See, Julie's coming back in. So
we can't do it without Julie, so bring her back.
Yeah, there she is.
Let's hear. Can I bring up someone, Jim? I got some people moving around.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Why don't you go ahead and give a stat real quick? I'm going to refresh my screen and see what happens. I might drop off for a minute.
All right. Yes, Jim has dropped out. All right. Well, Jim has done 300 episodes. So that means he's been live for 300 hours. And that is like going live for, oh, hey, Jim, you're back.
I'm back.
I was giving my first fun fact. You've been live for 300 episodes, so 300 hours. So that's like 12 and a half days straight of going live.
A marathon program.
Yes. All right. And then I'll share one more. Of the 300 episodes, how many times do you think Julia and Skyla had to tell people that they're on mute?
Oh, I would say, I mean, Juli loves nothing better than to tell people they're on mute. So I would say 250.
974. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. All right. Well, back to the show. We've got Sridhar. Welcome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh yeah. Hi Jim. How are you?
Hi, Sridhar.
Yeah. So I have a question about my condition. One of the condition happened recently with my wife. So we have a baby, 7 to 8 months old, and we went to out of the country on PFL. But when we take the PFL on the day, on the second day, immediately the consulting company, the contracting company, tell us that you are no longer with the company, and they turned off the contract. So but we came to know that they had a H1B guy, and my wife was on a green card. So is there anything we can do here, or it just
I don't understand the fact pattern. So
the back pattern is something we can file to USCIS or something that
No. I mean, I don't understand the immigration history of everybody's situation. So who's the employee, you or your spouse?
Oh, my spouse.
And what kind of a visa does your spouse have?
Green card.
Your spouse has a green card. Okay. And how about you? What do you have?
Same green card.
So you both have green cards. And then And then so then is there an immigration question or is it some other kind of question?
So in this one is immigration wise, I think need to find a new job, but something we can means this is totally on a contracting base, right? So something is if somebody is says terminated the contract, something like that, but the above the boss, the actual who is hiring manager, she's saying that they still wanted you, but in middle layer someone wants to hire a H1B or something like that. So something we can file in between, or like lawsuit or anything.
You have green cards, so I don't know. I don't see where the immigration question is. I don't understand where you're coming from.
Okay, so maybe that's okay.
All right, thanks, Sridhar.
Sure.
Not sure what was going on there, Daniel-san.
I don't know, but that's your job. Pinpoint what's going
Yeah.
on. Move along. All right, we've got a nice woman here. Marcia, welcome.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Marcia.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Jim. I'm a little frustrated because I'm very frustrated and emotional. Reason why I spoke to you a few times. I've waited at least 2 years for my stepdaughter to get here. Her father had passed away, and I continued the process. And she's in Jamaica. However, she went to the interview. Everything was fine. Everything went well. They took her passport, but they are requesting my original birth certificate, which I wasn't prepared for. Because since I moved to this country, I never had to use my birth certificate from Jamaica. So I asked for a printout of my birth paper from Jamaica, and they did print it. However, when they print it, it was a totally different middle name, and they are putting me through hell to get this to fix, and I'm so frustrated. And I'm wondering if that is going to be a problem if she brings it there with the incorrect middle name.
Yeah, I would clean it up before she goes. Why? What is so? Is it their mistake? Your issue? Like you had that middle name for a while, or what?
No, it's their issue because I came in under my father. So I came in when I was very young. So I did the in 600 through my father. And I also did get a green card to come through, and that had Marcia Marina. Now, on my birth paper, when I requested it, it had Marcia Misna, which is a complete different name. All my documents are in Marcia Marina. And it's
So
just
where
the
does
birth
Marcia
paper now.
Misna? Where does Misna come from? Do you know?
They did that, and they're still giving me a hard time. They want me to get all of these things notarized, all these witnesses, and it's just so hard doing it from the United States. So I just figured I'll call you to see if they would accept it or if they won't.
The easy thing for me would be to tell you just go ahead and submit what you have, but I think that's just going to make things more complicated. I think you want to clean it up before you give it to the embassy.
Okay. All right. I'll take your advice and I'll do that. Well, the good thing is they took her passport, so that's what's holding us up. So I'm kind of happy that they did that. I'm assuming that, okay, she's going to get the green card once they took the passport. And
Hopefully.
we're just waiting on this. Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 20 years old. I started her filing when she was 17 or 18, but because of the pandemic, she was delayed a lot.
I wonder if you need a lawyer down in Jamaica to help you speed things up for the birth certificate.
That's the thing. That's what I was wondering. But I'm like, oh my God, to pay all that money for something that they did. I even have 2 Jamaican passports with the correct name, but yet still the birth paper is wrong. It's so frustrating and so. Ooh.
I'm gonna throw one other thing out for you since you have a complicated immigration history and because you naturalized through your father, you should do a Freedom of Information Act on your whole immigration file just so you have that for your life. You might have your birth certificate might be in there in your old immigration file. I mean, you'll still get it faster probably from Jamaica, but you should ask for that just so you have that for your files. It's free.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you
Marcia.
so much for taking the time to help me. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks, Marcia. All right, Jim. How you feeling?
It's funny. There's bureaucrats in every country, Daniel, giving people hell, making mistakes. It's not just USCIS.
Yep. Well, let's just keep it moving. Got Katharina, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Got you.
Awesome. Well, I have gone through a lot of your YouTube and TikToks and all the information that's out there, and just have a couple questions. So I'm an F1
Sure.
student, and I have been in the U.S. since August 2014. I have my bachelor's, my master's, and I am now in my second master's degree as an MBA, and I'll be done in a year. I actually recently got married in October 2022, and he is military, right? So a couple of questions that I have, I'm going through filling out the paperwork right now, and it's very overwhelming, to say the least. I'm filing 4 different forms: the I-130, the I-485, the I-131, and the one more.
76,
Employment,
76.
travel, relative alien, right? So going through all of that, so the first question that I have, which is probably something that you get pretty often, is living together. When we met and throughout our relationship, we were both, well, he's a professional in the Navy, and I am in my MBA. So we were both living apart. We had roommates. He had a roommate. I had a roommate. We were under leases, right? Like, we were not going to screw up the people we were living with to live together, because he is going to his next command this year. So it just didn't make sense. He's going to his next command in Florida. I'm going to stay here to finish my MBA. I have an year left. I'm still on my F1. And the plan is to, once I'm done with my MBA, move down to Florida. And he will be coming back from his deployment. He's going to deploy to Japan, I believe, and live in Florida together, right? So we never lived together. I put that under the extras, like I explained the situation. Is that good enough?
Well, so when did you get, what's the date of your marriage?
October 2022.
And you're going to, when you apply, what address are you going to use for you? I mean, are you going to use the same address for both of you? Can we take the position that your address where you are is the official family address, and that he's temporarily deployed to Florida?
Yeah. Well, his permanent address is still in his family, right?
No, that's over. You have to pick a permanent address that has both of you, and he happens to be in Florida.
Okay.
So the first thing is you need to decide on a regular address, and whatever he's doing for the military is not the regular address. So I would pick your address. That's your family address. You both live there, and he's temporarily assigned to Florida to fulfill his military obligations.
Okay. So it doesn't matter if he's in the lease or not. I'm the only one in the lease.
He should be on the lease.
Okay. He's not on the lease because I live with roommates.
Okay.
Does that make
Well,
sense?
this is going to be a problem, because there's real life stuff about not wanting to screw roommates and not wanting to pay more rent, and then there's winning my case. So I think they do give people in the military a little bit of leeway, but you guys need an address that you can use. And it's okay that there's roommates for now. That's okay, I guess. It's not ideal. But if you're still on your F1, maybe we should wait a little while to apply. When's your lease up?
August, but my plan is to renew and live there until I'm done with my MBA.
Okay, so from an immigration standpoint, this is bad decisions.
Okay.
From an immigration standpoint, you and your husband should have a U.S. address where you both reside, that you get mail at, that if immigration wants to come and knock on the door to see if he has stuff there, to see if he's lived there at all. Filing an I-130 with the couple never having lived together and no plans to live, and signing a new lease after getting married, not good.
Okay. I guess I don't take in consideration the real life stuff, because he's not going to be here. He's going to be abroad, deployed with the military.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could try to do it with roommates.
Hmm.
And then what are you going to do when you get an interview notice? You're going to have to go to that interview without him. I think you really need to think about hiring a lawyer to help you with all this. This is not an easy case.
Okay. Yeah, I was going back and forth on that. I'm really considering getting some help because it is quite
I
a bit.
think you could do the roommate. I haven't done a roommate's case like that in a while. Which city do you live in?
Alexandria, Virginia.
So it's a military place. They're used to that stuff. That'll be okay. It'll be okay. So that's one piece of it. Then, I mean, how often are you going to be able to go see him? You know, after you file, or what's the plan to see each other from time to time?
So he deploys in the beginning of April. I hope to see him before he deploys. That's the plan. I'll be in school still, but I have, breaks and stuff. And then if my parole gets approved, the plan was to go to Japan and visit.
Okay. Yeah. So, and how long did you guys know each other before you got married?
Almost 2 years.
And you
The
can document
relationship.
all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a tough case. It's winnable, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of documentation, and you're going to need to go see him as much as you can.
Okay.
Yeah, and so if you want our help, just let us know. Let Daniel know. Call the office. Say I want to talk to Daniel, and he'll get you squared away.
Okay. I have one more question. Do I have time?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great.
It's a 2-hour
So
show.
my second question, well, there's other people, but my second question is with travel. I have been traveling all throughout, 9 years now that I'm in the U.S. I have traveled for internships, scholarships that I got from my master's, my bachelor's, and whatnot. I have traveled to visit family. I have traveled for just pleasure outside my country.
Outside. You're talking about travel outside the United States?
Yeah, it has been a lot of that. And
Okay.
We most recently actually went to Canada for the holidays. Me and my husband went together and came back into the United States December 23rd, so right before Christmas, to spend Christmas with his family. I'm a little worried about the 90-day rule. I've seen a lot of that online because technically my last entry into the U.S. is not 90 days away, right?
So, but you were already married when you left and came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think waiting 60 days would be a good idea.
Okay. All right.
And I would also stop leaving the United States until you get your case on file and get your advanced parole.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. I mean, those are really my questions, and I'll most likely reach out to you guys to talk more about it. Do I just contact you all through the website?
Just email info@hackinglawpractice or hackingimmigration.law.com and say, hey, I was on the show with Daniel and Jim at the 25-minute mark, and they'll find you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Have
for
a great
coming
day.
on.
Bye.
All right, Jim.
I'm going to refresh real quick, Daniel, because everybody's frozen on my screen. Okay, I'll be right back.
Got it.
Good thing you're here.
All right, everyone. I'm going to share a real nice comment we received here. I'll just read it for you. Joan Clark says, hello, everyone. Happy 300. Thanks, Jim, for all your unselfish advice you give to all of this program. It keep going. I just got my 10-year green card yesterday, and I will keep on watching. So grateful. This is such a nice comment. Thanks, Joanne, for watching. I don't know if you all watched earlier in the week. We had a nice guest come on, Perry, and Perry's a real nice gentleman. He was just so grateful to Jim. Jim was not his attorney, but he was just, Perry came on so many times and was able to get a lot of help from Jim. So it was real nice to see Perry, and he was successful. And Huri, what's up, man? It's great to see everyone. A lot of good friends here, and we've had a lot of good laughs together. So yeah, so as I was mentioning, I've been running statistics for everyone. So the next question we have for Jim, everyone comes on, they say, Jim, I have a real quick question. And then the question takes about 10 minutes to explain or 20 minutes for Jim to answer. So I'm wondering, how many times do people say, I have a quick question, and then they're on for 10 minutes? So I'm going to ask Jim that. And we'll see what people say. A question I have for is how many people join the show without a shirt on? So we'll have that number. I hope people are seeing me, but what else we got here?
Those are our favorites, Daniel, when the guys are laying on the couch like this and they got they're holding their phone up here. And they're just chilling, waiting for me to call on them. And then they go, "Hey, what's up, Jim?"
Yeah, Jim. So how many people you think joined the show without a shirt in the 300?
I would say 20.
20. I counted about 8, but like one of them like has come on multiple times without a shirt. So I don't know how to count that one.
The best was, do you remember the time where everyone in the chat was just dragging the guy for doing that?
Yeah.
We were laughing our ass off.
Yeah, it was
Hey,
going great.
I noticed something in the comments yesterday. Somebody said they really liked the show, and they said they called it a novella, which is like those South American soap operas. And I think that a lot of people watch this because I think it makes them feel better a lot of times, because they go, my case might be screwed up, but it's not as screwed up as that guy's case.
Well, that's so funny because the guy joined the show the other day, and thankfully he came on, but he said the officer took my phone and we have all these photos. We have like a very free like marriage or relationship.
Open marriage,
Like,
yeah.
what do you have on your phone? Like, who knows? But yeah, a lot of drama here.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure.
So how many people have joined the show couples laying in bed together, Jim?
Oh, that's rare. That doesn't happen that often.
That's just happened once, but that was a good one.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's get going. Mr. Gershon's getting nation here. Hello, sir.
Gershon?
Hey, Jim. Hey, Daniel. Thank you for having me on.
Welcome.
Quick question. This is for you, Daniel. I'm calling it a quick question. I-864. So my wife has sponsored me, and she works for a religious organization, and they are talking about restructuring her pay to be partly salary and partly parsonage, housing, religious ministers' housing allowance. Would the housing allowance count as income?
I think it might. It all comes down to the tax return and whether that's included in your adjusted gross income. Believe it or not, when I was in law school, they made us take tax our second semester of law school. It was terrible. But I think that if she has to declare that as income, that would be included in her adjusted gross income. But are you already at that stage? Has she already filed the I-864 or?
Yes, it's fine. No, it's all been filed, and she had standard salary, which is well above the poverty level. But if they restructure the way they want to do it, then the salary portion will be below the poverty level, even though her income, her gross, I guess, the total amount they're paying her will stay the same. Her income will go up because the parsonage is taxed at a lower rate or not taxed. I'm not sure what the tax implication is, but the actual salary portion will be below the poverty level.
So this is a question more for an accountant and whether or not it's going to land on line 21 on the adjusted gross income. I think it probably does. I think you're probably fine. And more importantly, I think that you're fine because you've already submitted all that stuff. The likelihood of them coming back and saying, hey, did that religious organization rework your salary so that part of it is a parsonage, is that the chances of that happening are very slim.
Are they not going to ask for updated tax returns or pay slips before when we get to the interview?
Very rare. Hardly ever happen. They
resolve. So it's all based on.
They resolve the affidavit of support well before the interview happens, and it's really only when someone's right on the line or there's a dodgy co-sponsor that they do that. Otherwise, I think.
This is very clean. It's my wife, and she's got. There's no. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
Sure, buddy. Gershon comes on a lot, actually, Daniel.
I love how he said this is for the question for me. I guess I look like an accountant today.
Did you see? He has that British accent, so I said dodgy because that's like a British thing to say.
Dodgy. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's a good one.
Strangest call. Ooh, I need to think about that one. You got to come back to me on that.
Okay, we'll come back.
Yeah. Well, Jim, I actually, real quick, do you have a favorite guest that you've had on the last 300?
You know who that is. You know who my favorite guest of all time is. Fatuma, of course. Fatuma is my favorite. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great people in the comments. Vadim's pretty good too. I like Vadim, And then of course there's our friend, what's that fellow's name from Australia that always gives me
He's a great,
Housey?
yeah.
Housey?
Yeah, Howsy, yeah.
Yeah. Housey's in the United States. So Housey should be calling soon about getting his green card.
Great, great. Well, one thing I want to mention, my favorite episode, I think, is the first one you did. I can remember the first live show you did, and I think you were doing it from your basement of your house, and you were
Well,
like super intense
it's so
because it was all
interesting.
new. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you bring that up because I was going to pull up a clip of that. Let's see if this will work. Because I was intense, and I don't know if people can hear it.
Look at that face, though.
It's Monday, Labor Day, September 7th, 2020. I am in my backyard because I am in quarantine. I went to San Diego last weekend, and I saw my son. He's a freshman at San Diego State University, and they've had a huge outbreak of coronavirus there in... It's so boring, Daniel.
Yeah,
So,
but like you're serious, you don't know what to expect. Now you're used to everyone coming on, but
see how, hey guys, how Facebook or YouTube Live works. I've never... The other thing about it, I mean, one, I look really chubby for one thing, and number two, there weren't live guests. I was just reading questions in the comments, and that's really how the whole thing started. Is one day I was at Noor's softball game in out in Warren County, Missouri. Actually, it was a practice, and I was bored, so I said, I'm just going to go live on Facebook and see what happens. And so people started asking me all these questions, and I was like, well, that was fun. And then I knew we had a big YouTube base, so then I did that one there live in YouTube, and then I got StreamYard, which allows us to push it into LinkedIn and to Facebook and into YouTube, and that's really where it got better. It's much better with guests than me just reading questions, which is why usually I don't read questions off the comments, just because it's pretty boring for people.
Yep. Well, the show's come a long way. You've got a great setup here now, and people are enjoying it. So, well, we'll get back to our guest. Mr. Jamal has been waiting patiently. Hey, sir, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Jamal.
Good. We're interrupting your work hours. All right.
Let's see. So I was reaching out. I've heard about you all via YouTube. And I've watched several of your shows in the past, and so I had kind of sort of two question thing. One is that we're dating someone overseas up in Nigeria, and my first question is, she's in a country where the security situation is very unstable. It could be potentially unstable. And so, if this election that they've got in February goes haywire and the country goes into civil war, what options do I have as far as being able to get her out of that toxic situation?
Well, so just for the record, right now, so are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
And as of this moment, you aren't married.
Right, we're not married yet. That won't happen until the end of the year.
So there's nothing you can do until then, and even then, it's going to be a long while, because it's going to be 2 years, year and a half from when you get married that she'd get a visa to the United States. So there's nothing you can do for her until there's a marriage or a fiance. If you've met each other face to face, I generally am not a big fan of fiance visas these days, but if you've met each other face to face, you could start that process now in the hopes of getting here faster. But you're so far removed from, I mean, I don't do a lot of what ifs, but we're talking about what if we do actually get married? What if there is a bad election? What if there is a civil war? I mean, that's so far down the line that I don't even spend time thinking about it.
So it sounds that's what it sounds like. Because we did see each other, we saw each other just last week. I was just in Nigeria recently.
So you might want to think about a fiance case then, in that just because, I mean, you're talking a year and a half. or you're talking about waiting a year and then getting started. So that's 3 years from now that she'd be able to come.
Right. Makes sense.
And you said you had 2 questions.
So the other one was when we marry, once we do marry, and let's say I did decide to go for the I-130, how would we show that we're living together, given the fact that she's living in a separate country from where I am, based in the United States, or that wouldn't matter?
You don't have to show that you're living together. You just have to show that you have a history together. You have to demonstrate the relationship.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks, Jamal.
Thanks, Jamal. Appreciate it. All right. Jim, how you feeling?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
We got an hour 20 left. So
no countdown. I don't do the countdown. I just keep
you don't
going.
do the
Let's
countdown?
just keep going. Yep.
All right. Well, we've got Karuna here. She's been waiting most patiently. Welcome.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me, Jim and Daniel. Appreciate
Of course. Hi, Karuna.
it. Hi. Just to give you a background, I got my I-130 approved in 2021 in April, and I came on the CR1 green card in 21. But we had a very short-lived marriage. We only lived together for about 3 months because of whatever reasons, things didn't work out. I'm not going to go public what happened.
Okay.
So we got separated and we started living separately since August 2021. So although we lived together for only 3 months and we didn't had a lot of joint documents like lease or kids or nothing really, we just lived 3 months together and we separated. Then after a month, we lived separately. My husband came back and he apologized for things that happened. And we started to work on it again, although we were still living separately. Like I was living where I am and he was living in his house. So we gave it another shot for about 6 months again, although still living separately. But what we had a shared arrangement in the sense 1 week he'll come stay with me and 1 week I'll go stay at his place, sort of that arrangement. And he has kids from his previous marriage and I don't have kids of my own. So we were doing that, and the reason was, to be precise, adultery, basically. And I found that again after 5 to 6 months, when we were giving it a second shot, I found out something again happening. And that's when I kind of gave up. And in July 22, I filed for a divorce.
Okay.
So now my visa is going to expire because I came on a CR1 visa in April 21 and 23 is when my CR1 is going to expire.
You mean when you have to file for the 751?
Yeah. So I'm thinking if I should be filing for a waiver, and if I do, what are the chances? Because since technically we've been separated only after 3 months of living together after I came to USA, although we got married in 2020, but because of COVID and all, we never got to see each other for 16 months. I was in Australia and he was here. So we didn't get to see each other for 16 months. Only after my visa got granted, I came here in April 21. We lived just 3 months together. We got separated. And then July last year, I filed for a divorce. So now if I have to file for 751, I mean, I have very limited proofs to show that, we don't have a joint lease. Technically, we don't have much banking details. We never filed for a tax return, although we have some photographs together, as in when we started, giving it a second shot. We traveled to Vegas. We went to Mexico. We have some pictures there. I met his kids a few times, and we have one joint bank account, which we opened only after we gave it a second shot, and we still have that. I have health insurance with him. I have my car insurance with him still, but those are only very few documents that I have. So my question was like, if I go through the hassle of, filing through obviously your help or attorney's help, do I even have a chance of getting a waiver, or it's not worth the hassle given I have very limited proofs?
So first of all, I'm sorry that you're going through all this, and it's a sad situation. Believe it or not, I've had this exact same case probably 2 or 3 times. So I had a great client that I really liked a lot. He's one of my favorite clients. He's from Pakistan. If I said his name, Daniel would know who it is. And he came to the United States on a spouse case, and he had been a pharmacist, and it was one of these situations where the family had married off their daughter to him and basically wanted him to come to the United States and work 65, 70 hours a week at Walgreens to make money for the family. That marriage lasted about as long as that first 3-month period. And this was a man from Pakistan. So, they're always looking for ways to send men from Pakistan back to Pakistan. We won that case based almost entirely on a 6 or 7 page affidavit that I got from him, that I developed with him. I worked on it with him. I developed all the facts. I got all the documents that I could. I think I'm not saying that it's 100% slam dunk that you're going to win, but it's a very winnable case if you do all the work. You need a lawyer, but there's lots of ways to prove up this marriage. The best thing that you told me so far is the 6 months of trying to make it work, because that to me adds on to the 3 months. I think it'd be a lot harder with just the 3 months. And then the other thing, I know you don't want to go into all the details, but do you think we could prove? Do we have any evidence of the adultery?
I have 1 or 2 photos that I took from his phone.
Good. Yeah.
To show that whatever some conversations, I have just 1 or 2, not like I have hundreds of
That's okay.
20, just 2 of them.
That's okay. And then as far as in the time that you were trying to make things work, or the time that you were in the United States, were you guys communicating by text? Do you still have those texts?
When during the 6 months time, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Like, can I prove that he was also trying to make it work during those 6 months? That's my question.
Yeah, actually, there is a very good proof for that. Because when we got separated and he came forward saying that, I would want to give it another try. My sister actually lives in Phoenix. So I told him very clearly that if it has to be this time, it has to be in front of my family, and the discussion has to happen in front of my family.
Perfect.
So my parents actually traveled from India to United States. So he actually came to Phoenix, as in he flew to Phoenix. I am in California as well. I went to Phoenix. My parents came from India. My sister is in Phoenix. And we, as a family, all of us sat together to have this discussion that, okay, what happened? Why did you do this? And he promised in front of everybody to say, okay, it happened and I apologize and it won't happen again. But obviously it did happen again. But I have that text documentation to show that he agreed that, okay, I'm coming to Phoenix to have a chat.
So it was adultery at the 3-month mark, and then adultery when you called it quits after the 6 months too. Okay. Yeah. So obviously affidavits from mom, dad, and sister are all great evidence too. You can win this case. We can win this case. Yep.
So
don't throw in the towel. Don't just go back to Australia. You can get a 10-year green card.
So the chances are that if we have the affidavits from my sister, my parents, we have some photos when we had 6 months, second shot. We traveled a few places, and then some text documentation, like I told you, 2 text documentation and some other regular communication that we've had. That should be strong evidence, you think?
It's a tough case, but it's certainly approvable. Where you're in California, so I think if you put it all together, and then the last question I would have for you, Karuna, which I always ask, is even as much as we don't really like him, and I wouldn't ask you to reach out to him, but do you think that if I wrote up a simple affidavit for him to sign that basically says this was a real marriage, for whatever reason it didn't work out, Karuna is a good person and I think she should get a green card and get to stay, do you think he might be willing to sign that? Or do you think he wants to get you?
I don't know. I cannot comment on that, but I can always ask, because we still have some level of communication
Yeah.
going on, in the sense, since our divorce is still in progress, and we both very, in a nicer way, we agreed that, okay, let's just do it amicably with I don't want anything from you. You don't want anything from me. I haven't asked for any alimony, any spousal support or anything. Just let's get divorce done, because I really don't want anything.
So that's always the last piece of the puzzle in these kinds of cases. What we would do is we would get a statement from you, a long statement from you. That would be the longest. We'd talk to mom, dad, sister, get statements from them. Then once we have it all worked out, then we make a really condensed version of it with sort of high level facts, not even getting into the adultery from him. Just make it as easy for him to sign as possible. And we do that for two reasons. One is it demonstrates that the relationship itself is solid and real, but also in case they ever knock on his door and they say, hey, Karuna says you're a bad guy and is trying to get her green card anyway. If we already have him signed that it was legit, then it limits how much he can dump on you if they try to get his help to keep you from getting a green card.
So you think a statement from him, maybe just a short 2-line, 5-line?
Yeah, don't you ask him for it. We'll do that at the very end. When we're all done. Yeah.
Got it. So if you reach out to him, probably just a couple of lines, sort of affidavit, and if he's okay to do it,
I'd probably just make it seem as simple as possible, like almost automatic part of the process, and just, hey, ex-husband, here's the affidavit. Could you look this over? If you're willing, would you go down to the bank, sign it, get it notarized, and send it back to me? And just make it super easy for him. And not a lot of drama, not a lot of fighting, not a lot of yelling. Just sort of slide it over to him, see if he'll sign it, and then go from there.
Got it. So if he is willing to sign it, then that'll make it even more, you think, more strong, the application.
Yeah, but we can win it without it.
And if he denies, then
we just file without it.
And still you think there are chances that we can still do it?
A good chance. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Okay. All right. I think that was the only question, because I'm still having second thoughts about if I should get into the hassle of it or just get the divorce done and forget it and, just go on with whatever.
That's up to you.
No, but if there are chances, then only it's worth, like you obviously has given me confidence that there are chances, then it's worth getting into it. But if there are no chances, then is it even worth the hassle?
Yeah. And if there was
coming from.
Daniel will tell you that if there was no chance, I would tell you that straight up. But I actually, like I said, I've had this exact case 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Daniel and Jim, for
Thanks.
having me. I really appreciate your time.
You got it.
And thanks for the good work that you guys are doing. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep. I'm gonna refresh, Daniel, because I'm.
Yep. I'll take over. Well, that was intense one there.
Sad situation.
Yeah, for sure. You could just see in her eyes just all the pain and complications with that. So we appreciate her coming on and sharing the story with everyone. I know that helps people just to kind of hear what others are going through. So thanks a lot. We'd be happy to have anyone else come on the show. And we've got a waiting room. Jim, I was commenting when you refreshed the last time about Perry, who came on the other day. I love seeing him come on. He was so grateful to you, and it's not like you were his attorney. It's just from these shows coming on so much.
Yeah, well, I always like talking to Perry because he's optimistic and he always asks good questions and he was always concise. So I was glad his wife got her visa.
For sure. All right. Well, we'll just keep on moving. And we've got SK. SK's one. I got a few people frozen here, Jim. Jenny K is just having a phone conversation.
Actually hung up.
We won that phone
I'm so
tag,
sorry.
Jim. That's good.
No, it's fine. Jenny, how you doing?
Welcome.
Good. Hi from Alaska.
All right.
I don't know, will it be a quick question or not? We came to United States in 2019 with my husband, and we are on a student visa. And he is actually right now on OPT. and it will end in May 1st. So, and we are working on a couple options right now. His employer is going to file for H-1B, but there are no guarantee.
Sure.
So we don't know how it will work or not. The second one, I'm waiting for the perm certification from Dole right now, because one of the company here in Alaska filed it for me. So, but it's still no guarantee that this perm will be approved, or it will be denied, or it will be on audit, right? And we filed it in last May, and when we filed it, the approximate time was like 3 months. Now it's like 9 months. It's like 200 days. Now they looking for the application for the perm application filing in April. So I'm hopefully they will look at our next month or so.
Okay.
So my question is, my husband he's working right now, and it's no question if H-1B will work. He will have the cap extension, right? And
Right.
he will keep going to work, right? He can keep going on his like work authorization will be good, right?
Correct.
Okay, if my perm will approved, and we will file I-140 and I-485.
Yeah.
And for work authorization, for me and for him, like my dependent, will it be will he be able to continue work or not, or we need to wait for the 665 for the EAD, for the new EAD or not?
Yeah, he would need to stop when his OPT ends, and then he could restart when the EAD from the I-140 that was filed on your behalf, will be filed on your behalf, gets approved.
So that's just one option to continue work for him, H-1B, right?
Yeah, he's not. Is he in a STEM field or no?
No.
Yeah, so that's it. And then what if the H-1B doesn't get selected, and what if the perm gets denied or the I-140 gets denied? What are you going to do?
That's the question also.
So I think you got to be ready. I mean, by May you should find out if he got selected in the lottery or not. But if not, then I think you either need to think about going back home or going back to school. Somebody going back to school.
No other options, right?
Mm-mm.
So we also work thinking about filing EB2 NIV for him.
What's the why would it be in the national interest? Why would it be in the national interest for the United States for him not to have to go through perm?
That's the question. He's working in finance field.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. No hope for this too.
Not that one.
Yeah, you answered my question. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you for having me.
See ya.
Thanks, Jenny.
We're just rolling on, Daniel. Rolling on.
Rolling right along. I love those NIW questions, Jim. You're pretty tough on those.
I try to be optimistic, but I try to be realistic too. And people, I think people. I was just talking to a guy at the mosque today before the show, and he's like, "Well, why did this other lawyer tell me that it'd be no problem? This kid's like still in school." I was like, "Why do you think?" Because he wants some money, honey.
Yep. Well, Jim, also, I was just curious how your family's doing. I love when you share just about how your kids and everyone.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know if
sure.
you
So let's see. Everybody's home. The two oldest boys had their wisdom teeth pulled out yesterday, so they're pretty miserable. And then, but they're home for about another 10 days. It's really nice having them. We watch Jeopardy together every night when I get home, so that's fun.
Nice.
And we've seen a couple movies and just relax and hang out with them. Hema is waiting to hear back from a couple more colleges. He got into Loyola Chicago and DePaul and SLU and University of Minnesota. But he's waiting to hear back from some schools on the East Coast that he's interested in. And then Noor and I went down to Houston, and she was in this like select softball tournament, and she just lit it up. She won the home run derby. She had 6 home runs. The fence was 175 feet, so she hit 6 of them over the fence. And then her team won the tournament. Her team won the tournament. She was the team MVP and the 2027 class MVP. So it was fun, and she actually then got a free ticket to like the next level of competition. And so we're trying to pick dates for her to go to that. So it was a lot of fun. She's as good as she is. She's never won a tournament before, so it was a good experience for her. And her best friend was with her, and it was fun for them to actually win a tournament.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear about how you're doing, and it's fun watching some of the videos you post of her playing.
How are your parents doing? How's your dad?
Oh, I feel blessed. Everyone's doing real well. My niece and nephew are here, as you know, and Julie's going to spend a lot of time with them. So that's great.
That's great.
Yeah. And Jim, I also wanted to say, I don't know if people saw your friend Charles, the author, came on, and it was a real great show, just inspiring. I mean, your accomplishments are inspiring, so I'm proud of you. And
thanks. It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that, because on Tuesday at 9:45, Charles and I are going to go on Channel 5, and I'm going to be like his little star pupil for the month. So we'll be on Channel 5. That's going to be fun.
Great. All right. Well, let's keep it moving here.
Let's do it.
Miss KG, welcome to the show.
Hi. Do you mind if I turn off the camera?
No, it's fine.
I don't mind, but it's fun to see you. But do what you got to do.
Okay. I just have a quick. I just have a quick question. Hi, Mr. Jim. Nice to meet you.
Hi, KG.
I'm a permanent resident. I just got my residency last year, December. And my husband is a U.S. citizen, and I wanted to know, could I sponsor my mom through my husband, or I have to wait to be a U.S. citizen?
You have to wait to be a U.S. citizen.
Oh, okay. And I can sponsor her being a permanent resident, like even to start the paperwork.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's the only question I have. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. There we go. Whoops. I think Yusuf is driving.
Sometimes it's nice to have the fast ones and the slow ones, right? Like, or we had a long one.
Yeah, it's a little mix.
Yep.
That means the next one's going to be a doozy. No, yeah. Julie, what do you got for us? Julie, welcome. Thanks for being
look at her. She's sporting the Georgia Bulldog patch. She's ready for Monday.
That's right. Hi, Jim. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Julie.
Okay, yeah, mine is going to be a long one, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
So I've been on this journey for 5 years. And what happened was who's my husband now, he came to Atlanta 2 times in 2017. On the second time he came, he was removed from the airport because he's from Nigeria. And it was right during the Trump thing and all that. So so we got married a year later in 2019. then I filed the I-130. It was approved. After the I-130 was approved, I filed an I-212, which is well, you know what an I-212 is, a waiver. And it was denied because they said that he wasn't out of the country for 5 years. So I knew that that wasn't one of the, you could still file an I-212. That's the whole purpose of the I-212 with the hardship thing. And so I decided to get an attorney and file another I-212. And so that one was filed December a year ago. And then we got an interview at the embassy. He actually had 2 interviews. They called and interviewed me. And on the 3rd interview, they called him back and said, come back to the embassy and bring your passport. Well, at that time, for some reason, they just did not want to approve him. And they didn't say why. They didn't, they said that, they basically said that he was lying about the reason that he came to Atlanta for the 2nd time.
Yeah,
And
that's one of their favorite tricks.
Yes, and so the I-212 is still pending. It hasn't been adjudicated yet, and of course, now the embassy is saying that they want to revoke the whole thing and start over again. So my question is, I called your office, and I guess that we have to wait until we hear back from the embassy to see if they revoke it, and wait for the NOIA, I think it is, notice of intent to
Revoke.
NOIR. Okay.
Yeah,
So
but they
have to
can't
wait?
revoke. They can't revoke the I-130. I mean, as long as the marriage is valid, they can't revoke the I-130. They might send it back just to slow things down. But let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Now, in my experience, you said he came 2 times, right?
Yes, he came on a B1, B2.
Yep. And when he got his B1, B2 visa, was he ever married back in Nigeria?
No, he was never married, and he actually came the first time with his mom and his sisters, with his family, and then he came to Atlanta. So, and we had not met when they first got the B1, B2.
Okay, so he gets the B1, B2. He comes to the United States. He comes with his mom and sister, and then he meets you on that trip, or he meets you after that?
He met me on that trip. He flew from New York. They went to New York, and he flew from New York to Atlanta. He didn't have any problem, of course, getting in. And then it was on the second trip. We're both in the medical field. And so he came on the second trip because he had not gotten his nursing license at that point. He was still going to school. So when he came on the second trip in December, he brought his books and everything with him to study. And they thought that he was here to work. They kept saying that, they didn't believe him. They believed that he was coming here to try to get a job. That's why he had all of his nursing stuff with him. And when he had that last interview at the embassy,
Wait, hold on. Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet.
Okay.
So when he got sent back, did they give him a 5-year bar?
Yes. Okay.
And so did they also one of the things they like to do, Julie, is they like to write up these single line statements of fact, and where he admits a bunch of bad stuff. Did they do that?
Yes.
And what's the gist of that as far as why they weren't letting him in?
The gist of that was the immigration officer actually called me and talked to me at work, and he,
So while he's in the airport, they called you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I confirmed that yes, he was coming to see me. And when they wrote up that record, the officer said that I said I was married. He said several things that weren't true. So that's what really got me on the whole bandwagon of wanting to fight it, because I didn't know anything about the immigration system at the time. Yeah. And I just thought, this is so unfair. Why would he say I said these things when I didn't say these things? And so anyway, he didn't sign the sworn record. at the airport, but they did send him back. He had a round trip ticket and everything, but they just kept saying that they thought that he was coming here to work and not to.
So it was more about work than it was about coming to see someone that he might end up marrying.
Exactly.
Okay, and then so how did you actually get married? Did you go over there and get married?
Yes.
Is there an age gap?
Yes.
How much?
22 years.
Okay, and I don't like that they called you from the embassy. That's so what's the overall question, Julie? Do I think he's going to get a visa anytime soon? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think that from the research I've done, it sounds like they're trying to have them start all over again. But you said, okay, the one thing that I want to ask is that, in his interview at the embassy in Lagos, they never said they didn't think that we didn't have strong marital proof. They never said anything about the marital proof. They just kept saying, you're lying about coming here to work. You were coming here to work. And he said, no, I wasn't coming here to work. I actually went back to school. He graduated from nursing school, and he had his, he has his certificate and everything, his diploma, and he's working as a nurse over there. And so in my eye, I mean, I tried to tell him that they just think that he's coming over here to work. They don't care if he's going to be a nurse or if he's going to work in a gas station. Because he was thinking, no, I didn't have my nursing degree yet. I couldn't have worked as a nurse. But so anyway, I think what I'm waiting for is to see what they actually say. But Coco, stop. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I think that, or I guess I'm asking you, do I have to wait and see what they actually send to me? The reason that they are going to, that they're going to deny it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only way they could revoke the I-130 is if they decide that he didn't marry you for love, he married you for an immigration benefit. So technically, they could revoke the I-130, but really, usually when the embassy sends the case back, 9 times out of 10, USCIS says, yeah, this is a real marriage and sends it back. Now, the State Department might throw in all the other stuff to try to make him look bad, to try to get USCIS to revoke it. But at the end of the day, do I think your husband's going to get a visa ever based on marriage to come to the United States? I think the chances of that are very small.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do I have to go move to Nigeria to be with my husband? I mean, we're married and we have strong marital.
Well, I think they believe you. I think they don't believe him. I mean, if I had to make a list of countries they're suspicious of, Nigeria's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
So plus the age gap, plus the shenanigans at the airport, plus is he coming for nursing? Is he coming for a visit? Is he coming for love? I mean, it's just a big old mess.
Yeah. So the fact that the I-212 was never adjudicated because they did the interview before the I-212 was adjudicated, is that completely off the table, or do they even consider what was in that legal memorandum?
No, they're not considering that, but they should keep everything should stay alive until the 212 is adjudicated, unless they revoke the I-130. If they revoke the I-130, then it's game over, and they don't even have to wait for the waiver.
But the 212, the 5-year span is over, so there's no need for an I-212, right?
I don't know. I guess if those dates jive up, then I mean, he might need a waiver for fraud anyway. So it's not just the 5 years; it's the fraud too. So it's a big old mess.
Yeah, it is a big old mess. So so they have to state in the reason that they're revoking it, if it's because of marital proof or it's because of the misleading thing.
It's not marriage proof. It's that the USCIS can, even in the face of a completely paper valid marriage with tons of evidence, they can still conclude that the marriage was entered into solely to gain an immigration benefit, namely him getting an immigrant visa to come to the United States. That his intent, they can go into his heart and say his intention was not pure, and he did not marry you for love, but he married you to get a green card.
Okay. So once, if I get the NOIR, the notice of intent to revoke, should I then call your office to see if
Sure.
you can respond to that for me? Because they said it would, sometimes it's 14 days, sometimes it's 30 days that you have to respond.
Oh no, you'll have 3 months at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we'd be happy to help.
Okay, thank you. Happy New Year.
Julie. Okay, go
Thanks,
Bulldogs.
Julia. Thanks for coming on. Or Julie,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. All right, Jim. Glad you could talk her through that.
Yep.
All right. How are you doing? Have you noticed anyone in the waiting room for a while I should bring up, or?
I don't think Yusuf's driving. He's waving. He was waving when you said
waving.
that. Yeah.
All right. All right. Welcome. Just chilling for a drive.
Hi, Yusuf.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, I know that you assumed that I was driving, but I was not.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great. What can we help you with?
Congrats, first, Jim, on your 300. You've done amazing. So my question is, I received my green card through marriage base, and I've been a green card holder for 5 years. I had to wait the 5 years because I got divorced. So, that rule didn't apply to me, to apply early. Now I'm at this period where I have to apply for the citizenship, the N400. And I was in the process of doing it online. And then I got to the option where it says, to provide additional support or evidence. And I was wondering, because when I applied for my 2-year green card, also for the 10-year green card, I supplied them with all the evidence that I had during the relationship that only lasted a year and something with my ex-wife. And now when they ask for additional evidence, I'm not exactly sure what new evidence can I slide in there.
About the relationship?
That's number one. Number two is, I'm sorry?
You're talking about evidence about the relationship? You don't have to submit any more. If you're applying on the 5-year rule, you don't have to submit any more.
Yeah. Oh, because what kind of evidence then they're requesting on that
Just
part of the application?
Evidence of you're a good person who deserves citizenship, but otherwise, no. I mean, you don't need to worry about that.
Oh, so I don't have to have, the electricity bills, the leases, or the pictures uploaded again.
Nope. Not if you're applying on the 5-year rule.
And since I got divorced, it's kind of a complicated case, because I've been seeing also another girl, and we had a kid together. And I'm not sure if I should hire a lawyer to be with me during this process and also during their interview, or if I can do it alone.
No, did you know my son's name is Yusuf?
Yeah, you told me that before.
So I would say that a man named Yusuf who got married and divorced, got a green card through marriage, and then had a child with another person, I would say that person should hire a lawyer to help them with the case.
Just because of the name?
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Sure. But do you think having a kid is going to complicate my process?
So was the child conceived before the divorce was finalized?
No. That was in 2021. That was way after, because the divorce was finalized in February 2018.
Oh yeah, no, it should be okay.
Okay.
I guess one question is the person that you married a U.S. citizen?
No, they're not.
So they're going to need immigration. They're going to need to get an immigration benefit themselves.
I mean, eventually, I hope so. If we end up getting married.
Oh, you're not married yet. You just had a kid. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's a little messy. I mean, you do what you want, but I think this is the one I would do a lawyer with. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, but it's not that complicated, right?
I would say mildly. A little bit.
Given the name.
Not just the name, but the history and I mean, here's the $1 million question. If they knocked on your ex-spouse's house and said, "Tell us about Yusuf," would that help your case or would that hurt your case?
I think they will get no answer.
How about if they try to
I-
scare?
I don't think that's going to be a problem because I got affidavits from her grandpa, from her cousins. I still communicate with them, and I got them write affidavits from me.
All right, cool. Well, just let us know if you need any help, Yusuf. Okay.
Sure, Jim. I already contacted your office in San Diego because I live in California. But is there any chance that I can have you on board or Daniel?
Have me on the case?
Yeah,
Is that what you said?
practicing.
I don't do many interviews anymore, but one place I do go to do interviews is San Diego, so we could talk about it. It depends on the dates and all that stuff, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, one last question. Because the 5-year mark for me is January 12th, this January. Do I have to apply by then, or is it okay if I apply later after that?
Oh yeah, anytime after.
Okay, because I was able to apply 90 days before, and I saw one of your videos saying that I have to wait, or it's preferred to wait the 5 year, the full 5 years.
I prefer that. Yeah, but anytime after is fine.
Okay, so if I contact your San Diego office and ask when can I meet Jim, am I gonna get a response?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll talk to you. I sign up cases. Daniel will tell you I sign up cases. Just send an email and say I was on with Jim and Daniel, and I want to talk to Jim, and we can make that happen.
Okay. Hopefully they assume that I'm your son, Yusuf, so they respond.
he never calls here. He just.
Okay. Got you.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you,
Bye, Yusuf. See ya.
All right. See ya. Bye.
I thought we lost you there for a minute, Daniel.
I just need to get some water, Jim. I'm not used to these long shows anymore.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm glad.
Awesome. Yeah, I knew you wanted to talk to Yusuf. You love when people have, your kids' names or something. All right. Well, let's see who we got. Mr. SK. Did we try him? I think he's frozen.
No, he's moving.
Yeah, I had another one. SK will
just
come
say
back
SK.
to you.
We'll come back to SK next.
Yeah. Mr. Don, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having the show. I would like to know, I filed an I-130 form a year ago for my wife, and now we're out of compliance. I didn't realize I had to fill out another one for her son, and we filled that out in March. And now they hit me up with a fingerprinting and verification because I didn't read up on laws that they can go back to cases that were dismissed that you pled guilty to, and then they didn't plead guilty to. If you understand that.
I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying you Don got a fingerprint notice.
Yes, I did that. It's been going on 4 months now.
Okay,
and
so what's
wonder
the
if I
question?
need to sue the U.S. government to make that go forward or not.
Well,
or wait.
That's not what I would say first, Don. What first needs to happen is you need to probably talk to us off camera and talk about what that crime was and look at the records, because there might be a bar on the I-130s being approved.
Okay. So I was never in trouble before that point, and then I've never been in trouble after that point too. So
Well, but before and after doesn't matter. The point is what matters. So I would say, do you have a copy of your complete file?
My complete file for UCIS?
No, for whatever that charge was for.
I have most of it, yes.
Was there a conviction?
I had to plead guilty, and then 2 years later, I got to plead not guilty.
Wait a minute. You mean you got it expunged?
Yeah. Well, Montana has a law that if you plead guilty to something, then you do your probation or whatever, and then you can go in and take your plea back and say not guilty.
Okay, so USCIS, I believe, generally still considers that a conviction, no matter what the state does. So I think you might have a problem.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
I already talked to Daniel. I said it's going to be like $5,000 for it. So, okay, no problem.
Thanks, Don. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
All right.
Everyone talk to Daniel.
Yep. Well, thanks, Don, for coming on the show. Jim, I just have a real quick question I want to pull up. Well, now I'm saying it's a quick question. Who knows? I know you don't particularly like
Yeah, it's
digging into
okay.
the comments, but someone from Ukraine has a soft spot. Let's see. I have an EAD under humanitarian parole and expires at the end of March. Can I keep working while my TPS and EAD is being processed? Any thoughts on that, Jim?
EADs have all been given an automatic extension. I think it's either 18 or 24 months, so you should be good to go.
All right. Thanks for taking that, Jim. I'm
Sure.
sure Polygon appreciates it. All right, SK, it's your turn. And when you're not from the show, love is blind, as someone was saying. I don't know. Anyway, welcome.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Daniel.
Hi,
So,
SK.
I have a pending marriage-based green card case that's been pending for 7 months, and I haven't got any EAD or advance parole also. And yesterday, I keep chatting with Emma. So yesterday they told me my case has been moved from NBC to Chicago field office. What does that mean? Am I going to have interview soon?
Do you live in Chicago?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say first off that you said I keep chatting with Emma. That sounds like a special form of torture.
Once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. I had someone on the show yesterday that got her EAD after 13 months. So 7 months is certainly a long time. Chicago's also a busy field office. So I don't think you can read too much into the fact that the case has been transferred to Chicago. And the transfer often is months and months before the interview. So I don't think the interview is going to happen anytime soon.
They keep telling all my friends from my country and my visa status F1 that their interviews have been waived, but not mine, even though I submitted lots and lots of evidence. And I'm still in F1 status.
I don't know about waiving. We'll see about that.
And my LCA has also been approved. I don't have an H1 yet, but my LCA got approved and my employer is filing I-140 in premium. Would that help? I won't get a green card because my priority date would never be current, as you know.
You have a marriage-based case and an employment-based case?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you might be confusing them with both. I don't know. That might be one reason why too. I don't think so.
But my employer says the two are never connected and they never know that there is the other case going on.
Well, no one can say that for sure. No one knows that. Certainly.
And also from EB-based case, I'm not going to get a green card anytime soon.
I understand.
Yeah. So it won't help me with being able to work or travel or anything. It's just a formality because we could never get through the H1 lottery in 3 years. So my employer agreed to do this.
I understand.
Okay. So I should just wait and
keep waiting. Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, SK.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Hey, Daniel, I might take you up on a little break myself. I'll be right back, okay?
All right, sir. All right, everyone. Well, we appreciate you all being here. I hope everyone's show. We're at 301 viewers, 305. So thanks, everyone, for liking the show. That's so important, and we appreciate it. Just giving it a thumbs up wherever you're watching. Thanks a lot. And if you're not checking out the chat, that's always a fun place to be. It's always real entertaining. And so, yeah, just keep chatting with us. We're trying to ask people things and learn about things here. So, yes, well, we really appreciate it. How about my friend, if you don't mind? I was trying to bring up Julia. She's frozen. But yeah, well, 300 episodes. It's a great milestone. I've been working for the company 3 years, and I've just seen it grow to be such a more company than when I joined, and I'm so grateful to work for Jim and Amani. And yes, Alejandro's asking me where I've been. Well, on this topic, Jim wants to grow the company, and I'm in charge of helping with my colleagues of trying to make that happen. So a bit busy, but it's a pleasure to be with everyone again. I love chatting with you and seeing you. I'm always watching as much as I can, even when I can't be here. So we'll see if we can get some more of my colleagues on because they're a real fun group. As you're getting to know some of them in the chat, Mr. Romel, very funny individual, and Skyla and Julia, you know. So we've got some funny ones. So yeah, I think we've gone through a lot of my questions. I don't know, my one of my favorite guests that came on, I'll tell you about. I don't know if you remember, there was this guy, he like set the phone up while he was playing tennis. So he's like playing tennis, and then Jim pulls the video, and he comes running over the camera, all excited, and it was just real fun to see that. So we've got a lot of, you never know what's going to happen on this show. And
I
Jim is
remember that,
back.
Daniel. That was
You
hilarious.
do remember
I mean,
that? That was just my
we've had
favorite. I love that.
we've had lots of people cooking. We had somebody yesterday making shawarma. We've had people at work. We've had people on the bus. We've had people in a big semi trailer.
Yeah.
We even had someone from Namibia yesterday watching on LinkedIn, if you can believe that one.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, Jim, how does it feel to be reaching people from, all over the world and doing this show for this long? I mean, I don't think you had it in your mind necessarily to do this many shows when you first started.
No, and I remember another one, Daniel. One time I had flown into San Diego and I had just landed, and I did a show with my phone on the hill up from where I get my rental car. I remember you ran it at the beginning because I was running a little late. And I just remember thinking to myself, how amazing is it that we can talk to people around the world on a phone and do a show? I mean, if we were trying to do this even 5 or 10 years ago, I would have needed to hire a studio and a broadcast company. I mean, the idea that we can do all this on our own is something else. Now, Daniel, you haven't heard this so much, but I have sort of big plans for the channel. Like I envision a day when we have a full slate of immigration shows. Like we're going to have a green card show, a citizenship show, and it won't just be me talking to people about stuff. Like we'll actually create content. And like I think that the first floor of the building is going to turn into a studio eventually, where I think there's enough interest in American immigration that we could just become the central hub for all things media related as it comes to immigration.
Does Amani know about these ideas, Jim?
Yeah, I told
Okay.
Maho and Amani about it the other day. So
I'd like to hear Amani's reaction, but that sounds great. We've got a real special guest here, Rocio.
Oh,
it's nice to see you.
Rocio, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy New Year. How's your 751 coming?
Oh, it's stuck in biometrics since March, and now I'm really upset because they are like increasing the fees.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean for the 751. So I feel for the poor people that will have to file in soon. And I don't know. My question is, what are they doing with the money that they get from? Like, why don't they speed it up? But
that's a good question.
Yeah. So first of all, if you hear like background sounds, it's my puppies. We just got a 3-month-old puppy. I have 3 dogs and a cat, and they're driving me insane. Mm-hmm. So we got a dog all the way from Argentina. So we got to be really crazy. Question about the N400. I'm getting close to my window opening, and I own a gun. I bought it legally, of course, and there's not a question that says, do you own a gun? But there's a question that says something about weapons training. Now, my husband taught me how to use it. Would that count as weapons training?
Yes.
Okay. Is that going to complicate my case?
No.
Okay. Because the same question says, have you received any military training or weapons training? So I don't want them to think that I'm part of a militia or something that I'm not. So
I think those are 2 separate questions. So I think you're fine. And either way, you'll get a chance to once you put yes on the weapons training, they'll ask you about it at the interview.
Okay, because I don't have any like formal training, but I don't want to conceal information and lie and say,
Right.
I'm
yeah.
not.
So yeah, I would just lean on the side of disclosing it.
Okay, and also for I know it asked like I'm planning on filing it by mail, like paper, because I think I haven't looked at it online, but I think that online it doesn't distinguish between biological children and stepchildren. And so they make you want to, I mean, they make you send like the birth certificate. And I have a stepson, but of course I'm not on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
So if I do paper, do I still have to send his birth certificate?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought. And do I have to send anything about like child support? Because my husband is on child support. I am not on child support.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope.
So just answer yes to the question about the weapons training.
I would.
I feel so scared. Like, I don't.
That's fine.
Because it's going to be stuck in like forever. But again, the 751, it's stuck like in forever.
Yeah. But sometimes even now the N400 nudges the 751 along. So go ahead and file it, especially with the fees going up.
Yeah. And listen to this. I found the other day, I was looking at a forum. There's somebody that got approved in 22 days for a 751.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been hearing that too. Even some green card cases getting approved in like 5 weeks.
So why do some cases take so long and some cases take so short? Like why?
Well, first of all, let's remember 99% take long, 1% take short.
Okay.
I was just writing about this the other day. I believe that they're doing the 1% to try to get people to say, woohoo, I got mine. So that people start thinking things are going faster at USCIS. I honestly think that if I did research and if I FOIA'd it, I'd find a memo where they said, hey, we're really smart. Let's speed up a couple of cases in each case type and then try to promote that so that people think we're doing our job better than we really are.
No, I mean my husband. I mean, I'm sure that I sent like because I think I sent 24 bank statements. So I'm sure that the officer doing my case must be hating me, and they put it like because it's really like thick. But I'm like, okay, I submitted more evidence than this person, and they got approved in 22 days.
Yeah, you can't ever compare one case to another.
I know. So okay, answer yes to the weapons training and hope for the best.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Rocio.
Bye.
Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros hoy.
Un placer. Adiós.
Feliz año nuevo.
Daniel's always looking for some chance to drop his Spanish on us.
That's real fun. Jim, I got to give a shout out. My aunt and uncle, Stuart Axelbaum.
Oh, awesome.
Hi,
Uncle
Daniel
Stuart.
and Caroline, enjoying the show. Very interesting.
That's great.
It's so fun to see them watching. Thanks. All right, Jim. You've been helping out Rocio for a long time now.
You know, it's funny too, because a lot of times Friday's our slowest day. So I wasn't sure if we were going to have enough people on to talk for the full 2 hours, but I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, we're going just fine. They're talking World Cup in the chat, Jim. I'm kind of over it, Our team's
well, Daniel. So just so everybody knows, Daniel has a bit of a curmudgeon in him. In that, if everybody gets excited about something, then Daniel poo-poos it. Like if we start sharing Star Wars memes in the Slack channel, Daniel really gets bent out of shape. So of course that just makes me want to share more of them.
Jim, there's another way to put it, which is I keep things under control. I keep people focused. So
I mean, I for a while I gave out Facebook awards to all my friends, but if I gave out Slack awards, Daniel would get the best Slack team member because he's just all over it. He's always encouraging the newer leads people and everything else. So Daniel's great at Slack.
I do love it. Well, thanks, Jim.
All right, now the people want to know, what's your craziest call?
Oh man. I'm gonna have to get back to you. I just don't know. I just don't know. I enjoy talking to the most everyone that calls, so I don't have a favorite.
All right. Daniel's playing the role of Switzerland today.
Well, I'll tell you one, since I got to use my Spanish a little bit, I'll tell you one quick funny thing is Skyla, who speaks excellent Spanish, native language. Sure. She was transferring a call and she told the caller, speak very slowly. He knows just a little bit of Spanish. I said, I'd be good, but
that's hilarious.
Yeah, speak very slowly for him. All right. That's enough of us. Farilia, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Sure, how you doing?
I'm good. I've been patient. Thank you very much.
How can we help you?
You have a great show here, and I am so glad that there are people like you that can really come and enlighten us and give us information, and we are happy for that.
Go for it.
Okay, I just need to ask. My husband filed for me a green card in 2021. We went through an attorney, and then the interview was in 2021 in July, and then it got approved everything, and in that same July they posted the green card, and the attorney moved, and I don't know what happened. I When I went through my stuff, I see that the green card was posted and everything. And then when we contacted her, and so she said she did not receive anything because she moved, and then the post office could not locate her. And that was it. The green card got lost wherever. Anyway, we contacted her, and she got angry with us because she said the way in which my husband spoke to her, he was rude and yada yada. Anyway, she said that we have to pay her if we want her to file a I-90 for us, pay her another $500. And we decided, okay, we're not doing that. And we went online and we filed an I-190. And then last year January I did another biometrics, and then we're still waiting. So I just wanted some clarification on that. And
Should be soon. Should be soon. I would think a month or two. And they're saying a little bit longer on the processing times for I-90s, but we've been seeing 15, 16 months. So I think you're probably pretty close.
Oh, okay. I just wanted some clarification on that. If I have to, what do I have to do? Or,
I think you're just waiting. Yep.
Oh, just wait. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good luck. Yep.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's such a bummer when you wait all this time for them to approve your green card, and then USPS loses it. USCIS sends it to the wrong address. That's just really frustrating because there's no fast way to fix it, just because they're so damn slow on creating those cards.
Well, I don't want to get you all riled up and talk about that too much, but let's keep it moving here. Let's see. Zahid, are you there? I think Zahid is frozen. If I see him moving, Zahid, we'll come back to you. Diana, welcome to the show.
Diana, can you hear us? I think she's doing something else.
Hello, Diana. All right. Oyen, welcome.
Hello. Oh my
Hello,
gosh, you guys. It's so great to be here with you guys again. Congratulations on your 300th show. This is like my third time on now, actually. And my husband finally got his residency, so that was cool. But here's the problem now. We got married October 20th, 2020, right? I made it very easy for him. 10-10-20. You'll never forget our anniversary. So he gets to Miami on October 11th of this year, 2022. So we're like, okay, cool. 2 years, he should get the 10-year green card. He got a 2-year green card. He gave them, they asked for our marriage certificate. And the day I think he went to the town hall to get a copy was like June of 2021. And then they said, oh, that's the day you got married. But like the first line of the certificate says that we were married on October 10th, 2020. And so they said,
so the date of the actual marriage is October 20th, 2020.
October 10th, 2020. Yes.
October 10th, 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're telling me he came on 10/11/22?
Yeah.
So he came 2 years and 1 day after the marriage.
Yes.
But the visa was issued before 10/11/22. Immigrant visa.
Yeah, his interview was like a week before that.
Okay, I think they did it right. I'm not sure. I just looked at this. I can figure it out early next week. We just did this. I just asked this. Actually, keep talking. I'll see. I might be able to find the answer while we're talking.
Okay, because yeah, like I looked pretty hard into this because I'm like, if you're not gonna get a 10-year green card, then just come like the day they give you the visa because we've been waiting for so long. But it was so close. To when the 2 years was like, okay, just wait. And we didn't even think he was gonna get it that fast because he actually got an expedite. But yeah, so like it looked on the website that like if you enter the country after after 2 years of being married, then it'll be bumped up to IR1. That was the understanding that we had. And so yeah, but the problem I really have is that in Miami, they told him that the date of our marriage was not the date that I entered on the USCIS application.
Yeah,
like
well, that's wrong. That's all wrong. That part I know is wrong.
Yeah, so I just don't really know what to do now because we try and do everything right, and then now it's like, okay, you still have to now file to drop conditions, another fee, another wait, and it's like,
Yeah. Well, here's what I would say. So just to be clear, we haven't filed a 751 because we think we're right.
Well, he's only been here for like 3 months.
Oh, right. 10, 11, 22.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So we got time. Okay. Just email me and remind me of this. I'll talk to the people here that we just looked at this like a month ago. So I'll look at it again and I'll email you right back, like on Monday.
Okay. Where do I send an email to?
Right there.
Info. Okay. I've emailed it before and I didn't get you. So
okay. Well, it doesn't come to me, but just say I was on the show with Jim. Just put that in the title. I was in the show with Jim, and then they'll know to give it to me.
All right, great. Thank you so much, guys. You're fantastic.
Bye, Owen. See ya.
Thank you.
Boy, I think the whole intake team's watching the show, Daniel.
They did, and my dad is here joining us too. I sent out to my family that I was going to be on, so they're real nice.
Hi, Mr. Axelbaum.
For support.
There he is.
There we go, Mr. Gerald Axelbaum.
That's great
for watching. That's awesome. All right. Well, Mr. Jim, it's Friday. We got about 15 more minutes.
Let's finish strong. Let's get as many as we can.
Stride, I feel like I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
I could go another hour. Yeah.
Well, Jim, I mean, yeah. All right.
Let's finish strong. Let's see how many people we can knock out in the next 13 minutes.
Let's do it. Miss Kabochi, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for hosting us. Happy Friday, and hopefully, I'm hesitant to say this will be quick, but let's hope it's quick.
Okay.
I lost my naturalization certificate somewhere between filing for the people who followed me or filing for a passport. Somewhere in the mix, it got lost. And it looks like on the website, I need to refile and repay a fee, really expensive fee. Is that it?
That's it.
No. Well, thank you. That was my question.
Yeah, I mean, what do you need it for? The one thing you might try is do a complete FOIA of your file or of those other people you filed. It might have been scanned in. If all you need is a scanned in copy, you could go with that, but it's always good to have a real certificate. I know it's expensive.
Yeah, and that's the challenge is I would rather do it because I don't have an actual reason to need it, but the day comes and I do, then it's going to be a fire drill. So that's really why I would like to do it.
Yeah, I wish there was an easier way.
Makes sense. Well, thank you guys. Happy weekend.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right, Jim. Just going through it. Mr. Omar looking a little.
Hi, Omar.
A little dark.
How you doing, Mr. Jim? How you doing, Mr. Daniel?
Good. We're good. How are you, Omar?
How are you? I think Mr. Jim, you saw my name this week.
I see the name Omar every week, so I don't know.
Okay. No, and lawsuit. I'm excited to the second lawsuit with you.
Oh, great.
I just signed this week with you.
Awesome.
Well, the first lawsuit was for May 130. It was a great result. It was in Detroit, and last and like they approved it after 2 weeks. The lawsuit.
Yep. I
And
remember.
this,
I remember.
and this my with my 485. I'm excited with you, and I know it's gonna be great result because with you. That's why, and you have a
Hopefully.
great team.
Awesome. Did you have a question for us, Omar?
Just thank you for your team, and thank you what you're doing, and tell everyone don't wait, just trust what Mr. Jim say.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Jim. Thank you.
Bye, Omar.
Thanks,
Everyone likes
Omar.
Omar.
Well, everyone's waiting for a good story to go out on, just a real nice one. Let's see what Allison has. Allison, welcome to the show.
Hi. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Hi. I've been in the US for 3 years now, and I'm currently out of status because I've been waiting for USCIS to approve my extension. Anyways, I recently got married, and we have two beautiful children. Now, I LLC, and I didn't know that I couldn't work without an SSN, and that I have an ITIN. Anyways, long story short, I'm just wondering if I file for a green card, will they go after my employer?
No. But just real quick, I didn't hear. Is your spouse a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're saying if I this is a good question. If I apply for a green card and I list all the places I worked before I had permission to work, will USCIS then go and investigate that employer?
Right.
In my experience, no, they don't have the resources to do that.
Okay. So, okay.
And plus, we need to remember that they're government workers and they're a little bit lazy. So like it's easier for them to not call up and say, go investigate Allison's boss than it would be to like launch an investigation. So I don't think you need to worry about that very much.
Okay.
And
perfect.
more importantly, it's more important to me that you list it because I don't want you to get in trouble for lying to them. So you got to list it.
And they'll know regardless. Like,
well, I don't know if they'll know regardless, but either way, you have an obligation to tell them the truth every single time.
okay. All right. Okay. That was all my question. Thank you very much for
Thanks,
everything that you do.
Allison.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You got it.
All right. I don't know if we got anyone in the waiting room here. Well, we got Zahid. Hello, Zahid.
Hi, Jim and Daniel. How are you? Thank you so
Walk
much
and
for
talk.
taking my.
We need a walk and talk. Welcome, Zahid.
Yes,
Hi, Zahid. How you doing? What can we help you with?
I'm good, Jim. I have a complicated case. I'll try to make it very quick. So I admitted into this country as a student. As a visitor, and then I switched my status to student. Continued going to school, finished my MBA, and then at some point I stopped. And I applied for asylum in 2015. And after I applied, my interview was in 2019 November, and since then I have not received a decision for my asylum until 2021. And
are you still there?
Before I got married last year, year before, which is 2021, and my wife is a U.S. citizen. So now we applied for I-130, and I just received my EAD card. So my question is, can I? And also after we applied for I-130 and 485, my decision came for asylum, and it said it sent my application to the court, immigration court. So I believe that makes me in removal proceeding. But I got my EAD card also in the meantime, kind of around at the same time. So now, can I travel with that EAD card, or do I have to remove my asylum since I have the 130 and 485 in line, or I should just wait for the hearing at court and then try to adjust it there? I'm just a bit confused what to do.
Okay, so first of all, you need to get a lawyer. You can't do the rest of this by yourself. It's too tricky. You have a great path to stay in the United States.
Uh-huh.
You have an EAD, but that doesn't give you permission to leave the United States. So don't leave the United States.
I actually have the combo card.
I don't care. That's fine. Don't leave the United States till you get your green card.
Mm-hmm.
So the I-130 is still pending?
I-130 is still pending, yes. It's Baltimore field office. When I applied, it was 13-month waiting time. Now it's 49-month.
Yeah. So what's the receipt date for the I-130?
October 21, 2021.
And nothing other than the EAD?
Nothing other than the EAD. EAD came in just last month.
And you filed the I-130 and the 45 together?
Yes, sir. With the 765 and 131.
Okay. So here's what needs to happen. You need to get the I-130 approved.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to go to the immigration court and ask them to terminate the proceedings because you have an approved I-130, and so that you can adjust in Baltimore. So you're actually going to have 2 interviews probably, one on the I-130, one on the 45. You could sue now to get them to decide the I-130.
But since
Baltimore,
it's I'm sorry to cut you off. Since it's concurrent filing, and every time there is no way I can see whether they're going to give a decision on 130. I think the main application become 485. So how do I get them to approve 130 before?
They know. I mean, they know that they shouldn't approve the 45. They technically can't approve the 45 because your 45 is now in the jurisdiction of the immigration court. USCIS can't decide your 45 even though you filed it concurrently. So you've got to get them to approve the I-130, and then you go to court and get them to send the file back to USCIS.
So the lawyer will have to request them to just approve 130 first before we can go to the court.
Yeah. Yep.
I see. All right. That was the question. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thanks, Zahid. Have a good day.
You too. Have a nice weekend.
You too. All right, Daniel-san. I think we're good.
Jim, it's been a pleasure today. I appreciate you having me on. It means a lot to me to be here with you to celebrate this. So thanks.
It was fun. It's always good to have you. You're welcome anytime. Thanks for your time, Daniel. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We had a great show, our first ever 2-hour show. And happy birthday to Hooli. And don't forget what happened in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, 2 years ago. Don't forget about those nuts who are trying to run this country and can't even elect a Speaker of the House. But we're grateful for Daniel. We're grateful for all the support from the rest of the team, Skyla, Romel, everybody else who was watching and chiming in. We're also happy to the whole Axelbaum family for pushing us over 300 viewers. But this was a lot of fun. Hooli, I hope you have a great time at the beach, and we'll see everybody on Monday at 4 o'clock. Bye, guys.